Australia's strict India travel ban. With COVID-19 cases increasing in India, many countries have added some travel bans. For example, a couple of days ago, United States announced that it would introduce an India travel ban, though that does not apply to Americans. However, Australia has announced a very different travel ban. Australians could be arrested for returning home. Australia has shut its borders to most foreigners for more than a year, but allowing Australian citizens and residents to enter the country through a lengthy quarantine upon arrival in a government facility. From Monday, the 3rd of May 2021, Australia will ban its citizens and residents to enter the country if they have been to India in past 14 days. Any person who violates the rule could face up to 5 years in jail and/or a fine of up to 66,000 Australian dollars. On the 15th of May 2021, the government will review the restriction. This is the first time since the start of COVID-19 that Australia has made it a criminal offence for Australians to return home. As Australian Health Minister, Greg Hunt describes this move, the government does not make these decisions lightly. However, it is critical the integrity of the Australian public health and quarantine systems is protected, and the number of COVID-19 cases in quarantine facilities is reduced to a manageable level. Is this policy fair or unreasonable? Australia's zero-tolerance approach to coronavirus has been polarizing. There are many benefits, such as many lives have been saved, and for that matter, life within Australia's borders is for all practical purposes freer than in most of the rest of the world. As you would expect, achieving this isn't without problems. Thousands of Australians are waiting to come home, but have to wait because of Australia's flight cap. The quarantine to return home is expensive, and little has been done to improve it and increase capacity. On some level, it seems somewhat heartless to tell vulnerable Australians in India that they cannot return home and should just stay there. As we see that countries have started vaccination program, one has to wonder about the zero-tolerance approach of Australia towards coronavirus, because it does not seem to go away anytime soon. Therefore, Australia has to accept that there will be some cases or the country will shut its border for the rest of the world. What is interesting in this situation is that the country has a lengthy quarantine to return home, but still is not allowing people to come back. You would think that would sufficiently address the risk. The reason behind this may be that the country has not come across the new variants, and allowing people from India would again risk the lives of the people. For example, people might become exposed in flights, or even in quarantine facilities. Bottom line: Australia is banning its citizens and residents to enter the country if they have been to India in past 14 days. Despite the fact that the country has strict quarantine measure and flight caps. While we have seen many travel restrictions during the pandemic, we have not seen many countries outright banning people from returning home, even with a quarantine.